Let's get the show on the road.
Okay, it's Tuesday morning. I'm here with Easy Eric Kearney, Joe Dog Hallam. This is Rex the Boot Atkins. We're joined today by Anthony, Kingdom, James, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Okay, let's get right back into it here. What did you do for WWE or for Austin?
I didn't do it for WWE. It's a licensed product, but I drew. Hold on, let me hold my place there. I did illustrations for.
What kind of light do you have shining on you?
He's got a nice
light. It's the light from your eyes, Eric.
Austin 316 facts.
I'm constantly bathed in the glow of your fucking stellar soul.
I can see your light fixture in your TV reflection in the back.
Oh yeah, that's that one over. That's in the it's over Otisburg.
It looks like there's a fan attached to it.
There is.
Yeah, ceiling fan. Oh,
I can see the reflection in your TV. I could see it. I can see the fan going. No, but seriously, hold on. You said it was not WWE. I looked at the cover right there. WWE's logo's right on it.
Yeah. It's a licensed product.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Now, hey, you want me to confuse you a little? Yeah. You want to know who publishes this book?
It's not very difficult, but yeah.
You want to know who publishes this book?
Okay.
ECW Press. Canadian company. I walked to their office to pick up my extra copies of this.
Yeah, you had a whole box of them last night.
Yeah, I do. I picked up 16 extras. Holden Albright wanted a few, and I'm sending a couple out to a couple of my Patreon people, my Patreon supporters, and then I've got 10 that I'm putting on sale in my store. So if you want an autographed copy, just go to rutgazer.com and click on shop, because I fixed my shop yesterday.
What is that exactly? What's the book?
It is Austin 316, 316 facts and stories about Stone Cold Steve Austin. And hey, today is Tuesday. This book comes out today because today is
what?
316.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is
so cold.
They're not fucking around. So yeah, so there's 12. It's
hold on, leave that right there. Leave that right there.
Yeah.
So that's Foley and Austin as a tag team.
Yeah.
Dude love.
So it's written by a dude named Michael McAvaney, who he's written for WWE. And he's also written for DC Comics. And so he put this book together, and it is literally 316 facts and stories about Steve Austin. And they needed an illustrator. They wanted to do some like a dozen illustrations. So Greg Oliver got a hold of me and said, are you interested? And my first thought was pure imposter syndrome. Who can I pass this off to? I'm not good enough for this. And then I thought, screw you, I'm doing it. So
wow.
So you drew that.
Well, now I work on top of photos. For most of these, I worked on top of photos. So it's for some, it's straight off the photo, and then I'll fiddle with the background or whatever. Some of these are composites of photos where I put together 2 or 3 photos to create a scene. And my favorite of them, if I can find it now, is I was trying to find a way to do a scene of Austin throwing the Intercontinental title into the river on Raw. But if you've ever watched that back, the video of that it's exciting for what's going on, but visually it's lame as F, because it's like it's dusk in Connecticut.
It's almost
nighttime. It's nighttime. Yeah.
So I I decided to draw it from the belt's point of view.
Nice.
Little Austin in the background.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Austin on the bridge.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
That's
this
amazing.
one, I actually went to the trouble of finding out where Raw was, what bridge they used.
You looked up the bridge.
Google Maps image of the bridge, Google image search of the bridge, and as I'm going through it at a certain point, like it's reasonably accurate. It's based on true facts, my version of it. But then it was just like, just draw a belt going into water, man.
I'm marking out for this. This is amazing.
I know,
Like,
this is
ECW
cool.
Press. I know, like we're just like joking around about it, but that as a teenager, when I went to Kohl's or whatever, or the bookstore, those are the wrestling books I remember seeing. It was by ECW Press.
Yeah.
I remember the Canadian, basically a Canadian indie wrestling book I read back then. I can't remember what it was called. I wish I knew now, but yeah,
Probably one of Greg Oliver's books.
Yeah.
Greg has done a few of his hockey and his wrestling books through ECW Press.
I remember it talked a lot about ECCW back then.
Okay.
Which was like the big Canadian indie in the late 90s, early 2000s. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's sweet. That's way more than I thought you were showing up on a Tuesday with.
So that is literally, that is for sale today, Tuesday, March 16th. So yeah, you can get them from me. I'll sign them, or you can get them from Amazon or Kohl's. Is there still Kohl's?
You're too professional to be here.
W.H. Smith.
Yeah.
This is the most professional episode we've done. We've actually had a guy on who's like promoting something that's coming out today. Like this is a real talk show now.
Well, why do you think I said, can I swap cast it? Because I knew we were going to be talking about something good.
Oh, we're doing
not to ruin it, but like, did they get that belt? Did they get that belt out of the?
I've seen the bug. It sucks. It's not.
No. I honestly
How
want
many times a day does Joe Dog start a sentence with not to ruin it?
Ask my wife. I'll tell you. Ask my wife. It's oh dear. No, but do they
She
get
says
that?
to him afterwards? She said,
Do they
ruin it? But you were sweating a lot. It was.
I need to know. Do they get the belt out of the water? Like what happens in those when they do those type of segments? Because they've done it.
Well, why don't I just hop in my fucking time machine?
You didn't put the.
Wow.
Why don't I
with
just
Bruce
hop in
Pritchard.
my time machine and I'll go back to New Hampshire, 1997.
Wait a minute.
And I'll just
Rex,
lurk.
Did you brief him on the topic of the podcast, which is shit on Joe most of the time? Because like that's exactly what the other guys do.
If I just tape a piece of paper over Joe's part of my computer screen, will that work?
Yeah, I think so. Also, Joe, it's a multi-billion-dollar corporation. You don't think that they can afford to just have one replica title be thrown into the fucking water?
I realize that, but like, there's got to be some mark that jumped in the water with a metal detector to try to find it after that.
A metal detector in the water.
Work underwater? Like what?
Okay, fine. A magnet. I don't know what to tell you. Like, there's got to be a way.
You saying this just actually made me realize that belt's still down there because no wrestling fan ever would. Yeah, they wouldn't be able to fish it out. They wouldn't have the equipment to deep dive and go down and get it.
Like so I mean, like when they made the hardcore belt, it was was it not made out of the one that saw Michael smashed like with a hammer years ago? Or
first of all, Mr. Perfect smashed it. It was the Winged Eagle title, and Mr. Perfect smashed it. You ignorant fuck.
Wow. Joe, why don't you just put your head down on your desk and take a nap?
Here's a red ball. Go bounce.
Oh boy, sleep. That's where I'm a Viking.
Where do you
Ralph
think I got
Wiggum,
the idea
motherfucker.
to smash the PWA titles with the hammer? It was totally stolen from Mr. Perfect doing it.
Yes, I realize that, but I'm just saying, like, if they couldn't make it, you know what? I'm just gonna. You guys go ahead.
You know how people have body dysmorphia? That's what Eric's like in the mirror. Every time he looks in there, he just sees Kurt Hennig like standing there all ripped, like.
But
every time he has a basketball,
but it's Hennig.
And
every time you're at the YMCA shooting hoops, you're like pretending to do Mr. Perfect vignettes.
Oh, every single time when I play pool, guaranteed. I'm like, I
He
can play
gets out of the shower. He throws a towel behind his back. He catches it.
He's trying to do the towel gimmick, but it catches his love handles and shit. He's like, oh, son of a bitch.
All right.
Yeah, let's make one of the four of us who's the most fit, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's make fun of Eric for being fat out of everyone here.
I do feel good when all of you are on the pod.
Joe's trying to come back from last week when we called him a fucking whale.
Yeah, I was an orca.
Oh,
I called him Free Willy.
you gotta
I never hit
listen.
a Shamu reference ever the whole time.
Oh,
Should've-
no, you didn't. No, that's good.
Well, I mean, trying to make some kind of a Hartford Whalers joke is probably that's too old a reference.
That's a
for
deep
most
cut.
people.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so good, though.
Yeah.
Hartford Whalers.
Somebody calls you a whale, you say, "I'm Mark Howe."
That's so deep. Nobody's getting that.
So deep.
So good.
That's what I'm here for. I'm here for 70s references and broad insults.
You're lucky that-
we were doing the podcast with Matthew Terry yesterday, and he was watching fucking MASH. While we were
No,
doing-
I only said that.
Okay, all right.
That was a joke.
All right.
Though I was setting up what I was going to watch, expecting that we were going to be done soon.
Not
And we
5
never
hours
were.
later.
Did you know, Eric? We're still doing the podcast with Matthew Terry right now. Right now. We're in a 72-hour marathon podcast about one Ottawa show.
I got to see, according to Kingdom Rex, I got to see Hickster wrestle in his prime. It was
No,
terrible.
I didn't say in his prime. Terry said in his prime.
Oh, it was Matt. Okay, all right.
Matt said in his prime.
was it?
2004.
2004.
Yeah, if he had a prime, that would be it. It was,
was-
early
he was-
2000s.
He was
Not
he
as
was
fat.
he was
as-
svelte.
Yeah,
He was trim
But I-
and
but I caught the lockup where he didn't have his hand on the back of the head. He like had his fingers pointed out. I was like, "This is his prime, eh? Okay, well that's great."
You just start critiquing his like, wrestling technique.
yeah. Eric's gonna borrow Joe Dog's time machine and go back and fucking just bust into the middle of the match and correct his lockup technique.
Yeah, if there's anyone you could shit on, like the Hickster of all people, like why shit on the Hickster?
Tim was such a good guy.
You know what? He's one of the few people I've met in indie wrestling who really believed what he was, and he was like, he really thought he was Hulk Hogan of Ontario. Like he was the guy, man. He thought for sure he was Hulkster.
I'm trying not to insult Dave Rector right now.
Oh,
Why?
I love Dave.
Let's insult the
Because
hot dog
Dave
man.
because Dave loves Hulk Hogan.
He
Huge
does.
Fan. It's a
He has Does he not have one of his boots from
Oh,
WrestleMania
he's got
18?
his tights and a shadow box. I've been to his house to pick up. He sold me an Android box years ago, and I went in his house and he showed me his collection. And he
Incredible.
like, buys and sells. Yeah, he's got a great collection. But yeah, he is obsessed with Hulk Hogan.
It makes my Bret Hart display look like I don't even know. Like let's look like trash.
Like the Godrich version of any collection.
Okay, there it is.
I'm not a Hulk Hogan fan.
There's
So,
two of us who are not.
Hogan or the Ultimate Warrior. It's like you're naming a citizenship award after the Ultimate Warrior. Wasn't that guy a right-wing racist
Crazy person?
Yeah. Yeah. And like the one good thing he did at the end there, he gave his Hall of Fame speech and he said, you should have an award for like the staff who are never on camera, who keep this promotion running, the seamstresses and the truck drivers.
And being
and
that
what
nice,
yeah. And
him.
what did they do?
Yeah,
and what did
yeah.
they do? They turned even that one singular good idea into a PR piece.
Yeah,
It's just
Well, then he wrote his own eulogy on Monday Night Raw the next night.
yeah.
It's ridiculous.
But none of that to me is redemption for his years of trying to establish himself as a
Credible?
as a right wing, as a credible, not a journalist, but a commentator, trying to get his foothold as a Rush Limbaugh or a Hannity, and just doing it with homophobia and Islamophobia and racism and sexism. He was just not good as a
there's a lot of stories of guys too that like they said that little kids would wait all day to like backstage. They'd have a pass to get an autograph from Warrior, and he'd just fucking no sell them, walk right by them.
This is Joe's personal story, by the way.
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah,
I'm at WrestleMania 6, like, and I'm like, can I have an autograph? And he's like,
you can see it in his eyes.
Yeah.
Have I ever told you about the one time I did meet the Ultimate Warrior?
No.
I did not know that at all.
It's not a brilliant story or anything. It's typical. There was a point where he no-showed some shows with WWF back then, and somewhere in the mid 90s, I can't remember what year, it might have been 95 or 96. He no-showed them, and they fired him and blah blah blah. He was in San Diego. He was at San Diego Comic-Con promoting his comic Warrior, and my friend Lee Motor and I were walking around getting business done. He was in his regalia, and I think we had stopped at one of a table in the food court. There was a little food court section in the main hall back then. And I'm saying this is the mid 90s, before, as the convention was really exploding into the nonsense it is today. And we get up to go, and coming towards us is an entourage, and he's like at the crest of it. And I'm like, holy shit. Hey, Ultimate Warrior. Hey, how are you? And he looks down at me and he goes, and keeps walking.
Wow.
And
watching
him walk by. I'm like, wow.
Hey, man. I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, he's in character. That's good.
Did he not blow like a pay-per-view on Monday Nitro? He was like, Hogan, you might.
I was wondering where that sentence was going.
He's like,
not Ultimate Warrior who blew that.
Did he not blow? Did he not blow? School bus full. What? What?
No. On Nitro, he said, "This Sunday, Hulk Hogan, you might be beating me, but that doesn't mean we're done with this feud or whatever." And Hogan's like, "Shut up!
Yeah,
the match hasn't happened yet."
I don't think that's what he said. I think he said,
"Are you going to agree with anything I say, Eric?"
No, I'm pretty sure. If you go back and watch that promo, he said, "You have beaten a lot of warriors, but you've never beaten an Ultimate one."
This is slowly turning into a segment now that we do every show, where Joe is little by little, every episode, getting very upset. Like, it's building up over weeks, where he's finally just going to be like, fuck this.
And it's going to be called the self-destruction of Joe Dog, just like the DVD, the Ultimate Warrior DVD.
You gotta have self-destruction. You gotta put a segment at the end, a fact-checking segment at the end of each show called "What Was Joe Wrong About?"
It doesn't matter what I say. Eric's like, no.
Well, to be fair, all you talk about is veganism and Ultimate Warrior.
I have never brought it up. Everyone else always brings it up, and then I'm just supposed to anyway.
Wait, Joe, you're a vegan?
A fat one.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
I know. I'm really surprised, because he didn't tell me himself.
Yeah.
Most vegans will hold you down and let you know, hey, healthier lifestyle.
No, I never bring it up. Everybody always mentions it, and then
I didn't know. Good for you.
Normally they mention it when they get heart disease, and they say, "Hey, what's that disease? What's that thing to save me again?" And then I go, "Oh, sorry, it's too late, bud."
No, come on. Listen, we've been eating red meat forever. It's fine.
We've been doing a lot of things forever, Eric. That doesn't mean we shouldn't change.
Cavemen.
Oh shit. Eric, you're fucking up, because I'm going to agree with Joe about something.
Yes.
Damn it.
Yes.
I'm only glad I'm only glad that Rex isn't here to witness it.
He's gonna take it out in post-production anyway. Don't worry, he'll take it out.
Rex, you missed Joe fucking up bad, dude.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, you're gonna have to listen back.
You missed it. Eric said, women weren't allowed to vote for years. Why should they be allowed to vote now?
Okay.
And I said, we should change.
The single best bit that the Man Show ever did was in their first season when they were on Santa Monica Pier campaigning to end women's suffrage.
Wow.
And so many people were like, absolutely, here, I'll sign your petition, not realizing what suffrage actually was. Well, it sounds like suffering. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's possible that Americans aren't super smart. I heard that.
Possible.
I heard that A&W released, this is true, they released a 1/3 pound burger to compete with the quarter pounder, and their sales were so low because people thought a third was less than a quarter. So their sales fucking tanked because people were like, why would I want less meat?
Well, three is less than 4.
Is less than 4.
Yeah, 3 is less, yeah.
It's valid reasoning.
It makes perfect sense to me. Yeah.
Could you imagine trying to start now a show called The Man Show?
Yeah,
Nowadays?
and everything they did, they would be so canceled.
Yeah.
It's right up Joe Rogan's alley. I mean, it's
you and Joe Rogan. When are you and Joe Rogan going to get married?
I agree. Yeah.
I'm not a Joe Rogan fan. I'm really not. I listen to his podcast rarely. Like, it's not even I do like the guy.
All right. You talk about him a lot.
Do I? Stand-up comedian.
You do. Would I bring this up? Would I have brought this up in a conversation with somebody else earlier today if you didn't talk about
As I sit here in a camouflage fucking hoodie with a fucking cat diesel power hat on. Like, I don't know why you guys say like Joe Rogan.
Yeah, you're
tell
the
us
most
about
Trump
Alpha Brain or whatever.
Yeah, On It. Yeah, it's a great company. They have great supplements. Go to onit.com. It's
yeah. You gotta get a Ridge. You gotta get a Ridge wallet.
I like the Chris Jericho method of going to the court. Hey, listen, I want to continue talking to you about the time you saved babies from a fire, but first, Blue Chew.
Is your dick soft?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Just gonna insert that right into the middle.
You know who doesn't?
Back to the show.
Okay. Yeah. You know who doesn't love Joe Rogan? Carlos Mencia. He does not like Joe Rogan at all.
Really?
Dude, are you bringing up comedy drama from fucking 15 years ago?
I know, but that's a good spot. Yo, if like just the wrestling fans that watch this haven't seen that spot, like that's a promo in itself. Like that'll teach you how to.
Where Rogan went on stage and told people stealing jokes.
Yeah.
He was like, "That's my joke. That's this guy's joke." Yeah. You should check it out if you've never seen it. Yeah.
It's pretty good. But
it was the beginning. It was the beginning of the comeback of the Comedy Store because it was years later when he came back and they, everything went up and.
Yep.
It was all stemming from that first fucking blowout with him and Carlos Mencia, but horribly out of date.
I meant to ask you this when we were on Matthew Terry's podcast because Comic-Con came up.
You still are on his podcast, Matthew Terry. It's still happening.
Yeah.
Were you going to ask him what Macho Man sounds like having sex?
No, I wanted to know if he had plans to be.
The cream is rising to the top. Ooh.
Elizabeth.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good. Like that.
Yeah, like
doing that. Keep doing that right there.
Lower.
Let me get you a towel.
For the people who can't see the video, you're doing the hand motion.
Ooh, yeah. He's doing this the whole time. He's getting a blowjob. Ooh, yeah.
And then you gotta
patreon.com/goodbrothermorning.
You gotta hold up the little creamer. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I was gonna ask you if you had plans on going to the Niagara Comic-Con because I heard that it got canceled or moved or something.
Everybody asks me about conventions that like haven't contacted me.
Okay, so they don't.
No, I have years ago. I think I may have contacted Hamilton and Niagara and never got a response. Nerds to them. I mean. Okay. Not that I wouldn't do a show in Niagara or Hamilton. Absolutely. I mean, if they're good shows, I'll do a show. But I think for me, one of the things I'm probably going to do is concentrate on Informa and their shows. Informa is the company that owns Fan Expo. And so Fan Expo Toronto and Toronto Comic-Con, Fan Expo Boston, Fan Expo Dallas, Calgary Comic Expo, Edmonton Comic Expo, Fan Expo Vancouver, and they just this week purchased Dallas Pop Culture Convention and have renamed it Fan Expo Denver, and it's actually Denver is one of the largest conventions in the States. And you know, I've done a bunch of their and MegaCon Orlando, I should mention. I've done a bunch of shows of theirs, and I've always been treated pretty damn well. And in 2019, which was the last time there were conventions, I started doing some hosting some panels for them. And we've talked about me doing more of that. So, you know, if Fan Expo happens this year in Toronto, I have every intention of being there. And moving forward, you know, if they're doing 10, 11, 12 shows a year, hopefully I'll be allowed to, I don't want to sound like, oh, I can do whatever I want with them, but hopefully I'll be allowed to cherry pick from them and do a bunch of their shows, and then branch out from there to other groups. I've done some shows for other, like North Carolina Comic-Con and Motor City Comic-Con, and also some places that I've been treated really, really well. But with Informa, with Fan Expo, they have a number of conventions in some big cities. And
it must be bigger than, like, Fan Expo is bigger than Comic-Con, is it not? These, like,
no, it
is.
Like, it is. It's actually comparable. San Diego, when as a copyrighted thing, as a trademark thing, when you say Comic-Con, that's San Diego. That's what most people think of, right? San Diego, I think because of fire marshal limits, they top out at 130,000 people over 4 days. They take over the entire San Diego Convention Center. The San Diego Convention Center, the city of San Diego, has actually renovated their convention center at least once, possibly twice, to increase space to keep that show. That's how much of a moneymaker that show is. And I know Toronto and Denver and New York, their conventions are probably comparable in size. And I do New York every year that it's running. But the two shows that I want to do every year, no matter what, are Fan Expo around Labor Day and around Canadian Thanksgiving, is Columbus Day in the States, is New York Comic-Con. Those are the two that I'm just, I've got to do those. And I just want to add more stuff and sell more fucking books. I love comic conventions.
I've been to a couple. They're it's super cool, but like when I went to the Hamilton one when Demolition was there.
Oh, cool.
And it seemed so small compared to what I hear about in the US.
Yeah, see, I thought the opposite of the one in Niagara. I thought that was pretty big. It was huge.
Well, the Scotiabank Center is a huge room. It was pretty big, but
the talent they brought in, like it was legit. Like they had all the the Walking Dead people, these people, all these big celebrities from different shows, and it seemed like a pretty big deal.
The Hamilton one just seemed really small compared to what I'm used to.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what the attendance is for either Hamilton or Niagara. I know that Toronto has had years of 120, 125,000 over their 4 days.
Wow.
And I know New York City, New York Comic-Con has been in a weird place the last few years, because what they have any of you ever seen the Javits Convention Center in New York?
No.
Okay. It's kind of like Toronto in that it's two buildings, a north and a south, right? And so for the past decade, whatever, what they've done is they've taken the entire north building in New York and made that Artist Alley. And that building was basically a big airport hangar. It's, you know, like one of those big rounded roof gimmicks. It's just a huge building, but it's one floor, and it's, you know, it's great for trade shows and stuff. They tore it down. They tore it down to replace it with a 5-story building that will like more than quintuple the floor space. So it's like 1 million square feet of floor space.
And they did this all just for conventions.
Just for conventions. And so, but what happened is all those thousands and thousands of people that would have been jammed into the North building for several hundred artists, they're now all in the South building. Everything that was in the North building had to get crowbarred into the South building for like 4 years while they've been building this new building. So for the last few years, you know, every time if you're in New York for the convention, every time you walk into the building, there's the big construction fence up as they're putting up this brand new, huge 5-story glass building. And all you're thinking is, you know, in a few seconds, I'm going to be jammed in like a sardine trying to get to where I'm going. I want that building to be done so bad. And now having gone through a year of COVID, I have no idea what conventions are going to be like.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Crazy.
I have no idea if cities are going to start limiting the number of people, like lowering attendance rates possible for, you know, buildings like that. Are the lines to get in going to be slower because they're going to start doing temperature checks or something?
Everybody in a mask, probably.
Well,
I guess
yeah,
you're already wearing.
Oh, I'm gonna be wearing a mask, and there's no fucking handshakes.
They probably already are wearing. They wear masks because they cosplay, so they already have a mask on anyway.
Isn't the narrative that we're being told is that as long as you get your vaccine and you have your paperwork for that you're good? Like, I'm assuming there'll be some sort of card or.
Oh fuck! Here comes anti-vaxxer Rex.
Okay.
Oh, where are they supposed to be?
First of all,
I'm not saying anti-vax. I'm just saying we'll need that thing, right? Whatever that thing is to show. Say, hey,
first of all, you make yourself suspect as soon as you use the word narrative. Isn't the story we're being sold? Isn't the tripe that the puppeteers are giving us? That
okay.
Narrative is a trigger word.
If this supposed vaccine is supposed to do what it's supposed to do.
Allegedly, isn't the bullshit I'm being spoon-fed?
as you sit in your camo sweater.
But here's the thing. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I gave a little bit away there. But the point is, I'm saying
I'm just happy the heat's off me for a minute. That's good.
Don't worry. You're still there. We'll get back
Shit.
to it. You'll say something dumb in 30 seconds.
My car has a hot safety, so I'm saying I can get the hot vaccine thing and I can come out, right? And we can all is well, right? As long as you have that proof.
You don't want a hot vaccine. Anyways.
You don't want a hot vaccine.
You don't want a hot vaccine.
You don't want a hot vaccine.
That'll be just like Dynamite Kid fucking shooting Davey Boy Smith up with milk.
Yeah, I read that book too. Was that an ECW press book?
No,
I'll take
what?
Was that an ECW press book?
I don't know.
Dynamite.
It might have been, yeah.
I'm not sure. But here's the thing: the original question before we went off on the "Let's fuck with Rex" tangent. The narrative, regardless of the narrative, Rex the narrative Atkins. Yes, because you need another going nowhere gimmick.
Wow.
Lex.
Where is he?
All right,
this is
one
me
down,
during the
Kingdom. You got to get rid of Joe Dog.
this is me.
No!
This is me during the
Fuckers.
Matthew Terry podcast where I just got up and walked
Got
away
it,
from
walked
you
away.
guys. No,
On some of the best comments too.
yeah. No, but here's the thing. Regardless of whether or not we're all vaccinated, say we're all vaccinated tomorrow, do you think people's behavior is going to return? Do you think everyone's behavior is going to return to what it was?
I
No,
do because
and
I think they're stupid enough to believe that a magic vaccine is going to fix.
Oh God, here we go.
No, I'm saying,
magic.
I think the people are silly enough to think that, oh, well, this protects us. We're good now. Everything go back to normal. As soon as you use the term go back to normal, everyone's going to be like, oh, we're good now.
Yeah.
Let's go
Okay.
shop. Let's go.
No, and
Oh,
here,
this is
boys,
great.
I agree with Rex. Because
Yeah.
the vaccine is going to help alleviate some of what's going on. But you also have the problem. Here's the problem I have with states like Texas and Mississippi, who in recent weeks have eliminated their mask regulations.
Yeah.
You still have
Well,
until
okay,
those,
hold on,
until
hold
all
on.
the- hold
Before
on.
you go on, hold on. Before you can't chew tobacco with a mask on. It's just too difficult. You gotta- it's very difficult.
You got
Mississippi,
nowhere to
Texas.
spit it.
Yeah.
Deflating. The problem is until all those people are vaccinated, you still have people, and now you're encouraging people to make contact with one another. So all you're doing is increasing the chance that you create a new variant. All the transmissions that are happening now come with the possibility of creation of a variant, right?
Mhm.
And that's something that now you have to worry about whether the vaccine you're getting will fight that, if that variant effectively.
Eric, stop smiling. What are you thinking?
Kingdom
He's just really
is
high.
a fear-mongering son of a bitch.
How am I a fear-mongering son of a bitch?
It's not gonna.
This isn't fear-mongering. This is, hey, would you mind smartening the fuck up for a
Yeah.
few weeks?
I see what you're saying because like Rex was saying, people they need any excuse to be like, all right, perfect, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
Texas Rangers have already announced that their home opener will be a full stadium.
That's
They said-
bullshit. That's
They
absolutely
said,
That's
WrestleMania. They're talking about allowing 45,000 people per night.
right.
That's insane, and it's
So people-
stupid, and it's selfish.
They'll take any excuse. They'll take any excuse
Texas
to be
doesn't
like,
give a fuck
sweet,
either.
yeah, let's go party.
No.
Or
It's
And
the whole reason the comedy scene is moving to Texas is because nobody gives a fuck.
Well, that's
they
great.
Can run full mass shows with no issue.
Yeah, but hey, listen, if you take a look at what New Zealand did, where they shut themselves the fuck down, and after a couple of months, after a few months, like last year, they were able to go back to normal. Like, I mean, while we were still stuck in our hovels,
Yeah.
they were having like rugby matches or Australian football rule match, whatever they were having,
20,000
with full
person concert.
stadiums.
Well, at the same
Because
time,
they
though,
were
they're an
able to
island.
make the short-term sacrifice for the long-term gain. And
It's an
nobody
investment.
here, so
It's like an
few
investment.
peop- yeah, so few people here are willing to make the short-term sacrifice. Fuck you. Why should I wear a mask? I'd rather cough at you and swear at Chinese people in a supermarket because I'm a piece of shit who
Yeah.
wants what I want, and I want it right fucking now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's why
That's
we're
true.
in the predicament we're in the United States and in Canada.
It's like I don't know how many people who have said I don't even know anybody that has it. I'm like, well, I don't know anybody that has $50 million cash, but I'm sure there's somebody that does. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You fucking
you're
idiot.
also from Godrich.
Yeah, that's true. We're
Not
pretty
a lot of
safe.
in and out there.
But,
It's
like,
kind of Godrich
The
only.
problem
Yeah,
is,
don't come here. Don't come here. We are safe. We are safe here.
Also-
We just stay there. Red zone. Fuck you,
They're
red
building-
zone.
I
They're
constantly
building a
see-
safety. They're building a safety
Yeah.
wall around Goderich using empty 2-4 cases.
I constantly see people saying
Two more cases.
2-4s. Yeah, they got 2 fours of blue all over the place.
Yeah.
Separate. It's like sandbags.
It's a glass wall. You can see through the brown glass.
It's a literal glass wall.
And there's bees and beer bugs all over it. Just bees everywhere.
And they're reinforcing each bottle with cigarette butts.
We're a beautiful town. We're a beautiful town. Yeah.
Sure.
Half the fucking population is still drinking those cigarette butt bottles once in a while.
Whatever, bro. Enjoy your red zone. Okay, whatever. You go, whatever. Go ahead.
Red zone.
Yeah, you love.
I'm sorry. You're talking geographically. I thought you were talking about some kind of like White Claw or something.
That's a good.
What the
I
hell?
got fucked up on Red Zone last week. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's like, what is Rex drinking?
It's the new
Red Zone.
That's a new kind of Corona.
Yeah.
So they kind of Corona drink. Yeah.
The only thing they had left was this peach mango red zone. But we're still getting fucked up by the bonfire tonight, boys.
Oh,
it tastes like a red freezy, but it gets you drunk.
Okay, boys, that's Tuesday morning. Anthony, where can everybody find you, buddy?
You can find me online for social media. All my social media is at My Name is Kingdom. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and of course Patreon, because give me your fucking money. And you can also find my website at rutgazer.com or handsomegeniusclub.com. If you're listening to this nonsense, then you know about my podcast, handsomegeniusclub.com, Mondays and Thursdays for me, Fridays for exclusive for my Patreon people. Yeah.
And while you're at it, spread some of that Patreon love towards us, because we got a whole 2 subscribers. So
hey, listen, man, I'm at 6. I've been at 6 for a while, and they're friendly and loyal, and we're trying to get the 7th. we're trying to increase the membership of the pop culture cult. I just treat your 2 Patreon subscribers well, and they will proselytize for you, man. They will hop online, and when you post stuff, they'll tell other people and they'll badger their friends. That's
a big ass word, proselytize. I don't know what that means.
Joe, when you have me on a podcast, I give you fucking homework.
Wow, it's like a word of the day calendar. You're like a walking
just like I treated homework in high school, and I'm not gonna look it up ever.
Okay, first of all, don't end the show by lying to people to say that you went to high school.
I have a diploma. You guys know this. I've used this a bit many times on a podcast.
You went through high school the way Johnny Fever went through university, in the back of a police car.
Yeah, I went through high school the same way Sylvie Silver went through wrestling school.
You don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh,
don't
man.
Do
oh, so many things I want to say right now. You hear that clicking sound? That's the fucking wheel of jokes spinning in my head because you mentioned Sylvie Silver.
It's Friday. It's fine.
Here we go, folks. That's today's episode. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Let's get the show on the road.